Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Ball IQ podcast. Jeez, I almost messed podcast up. I'm Tolu, Real Madrid fan,
uh, Nelson, Chelsea fan.
Chelsea fan. Like everything I said to now.
It's been a rough, weird um couple of days, but we're getting through it. It's never a dull moment. Never
Being
a
a
dull
Chelsea
moment.
fan,
Never.
yeah. Did you get the book yet? Nelson is
Ye-
about to read.
Yeah.
That.
Just an update for those who like to read. I mean, our very, you know, um, I wouldn't say shy, but in the shadows, previous owner, Roman Abramovich, hasn't spoken since the sale of the club, the
Mm.
sanction, and what took place. They just released a book where he's been interviewed, and definitely gonna check it out. Just hear his side of the story because,
Hmm.
um, you know, obviously I see him in one light, but it'll be interesting to sort of hear what he has to say about everything.
Well, maybe you do a recap,
Yeah.
a debrief. I don't know if you're allowed to do that,
Yeah,
but
I'll let you know if it's good or not. We'll see. We'll
yeah.
see. We'll see.
All right, let's quickly recap the last week. I'm excited that we have games to talk about this last week, but also feel a little bad for the players because I'm like, goodness, like
Yeah,
this is ridiculous. They're going to play next week now in club. Anyway,
yeah. No, there. Anybody who was involved in the Champions League final for them to be out there, I was like, okay.
yeah, it's not healthy,
And
but
then be in the Club World Cup.
yep,
Okay.
a week after.
Jet lag is a thing.
Jet lag is a thing. Fatigue is a thing.
Yeah.
You know, these people are human beings, not AI. But Nations League, France won 2-0 against Germany to secure third place in the Nations League, I guess. And Portugal beat Spain on penalties 2-2 after regulation and extra time. Um, that game was interesting. That would be our game that we'll deep dive
Okay.
in.
Okay. Cool. I mean, just as a footnote, I mean, watching Alvaro Morata walk up.
He like
No, but
everybody knew.
There's been many clubs in Europe who have claim that they've purchased or owned or had Alvaro Morata. Anybody who's had him for a stint knew good and well
He was going
exactly what was going to happen. I pulled up my phone. I was like, "Can I bet on this?
to
Is
like
it like
ASAP.
as he's walking?"
Yeah,
Um, but we'll get into it.
yeah.
I feel bad for the lad though because he has spoken about how mental
Yeah,
health in football is tough. So
yeah, it
you
is
know,
tough.
uh,
But I mean, kudos to him stepping up. Was it the right? I mean, hindsight, right?
right?
But was he the right? I mean, I'll understand if he went into sudden death and he had to take,
Yeah,
but
I, yeah. I'm sure there's a story behind the
behind,
story that
yeah,
we will never know.
yeah,
But
he couldn't wait for that whistle to go. Like he was like,
I
like
mean,
he couldn't wait
he
for the
walked
whistle.
up. He was like, "I can't wait for this to be
Yeah,
over."
just get it over
No,
with.
no mind games. Again, we'll talk about it later. But the difference between composure between like a Vitinha.
Yep.
Remember how he walked up, surgical with it, messed with him,
Mm-hmm.
kind of waited for him to go.
Fernandez too.
Uh
Bruno
huh.
Fernandes.
And you just Alvaro took that. Morata took that like I would. I would do it. Like I think I would do it just like that.
Exactly like
Like,
that.
please, all the cameras turn
Yeah,
off.
yeah. It was unfortunate for
Yeah.
him, but uh, Ronaldo got another international trophy. Good for
Yeah.
him as well. I was happy for him. The qualifiers, Belgium Wales was a wild
Mm-hmm.
game. Belgium win 4-3.
I did see that.
KDB with the winner.
Yeah.
Belgium was leading 3-0. Wales came back 3-3, and
Mm-hmm.
then KDB won it for them.
Seems like Wales is on the brink now as
Yeah.
well in terms of qualification.
Do you know who their coach is?
I think I know, but refresh my memory.
Craig Bellamy.
Yeah. It's one
I
of
was
the young
like,
lads.
you know one of those things when you're watching a team and
Getting
you're
cold.
like,
We're getting old.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
is that?
Yeah, man.
That's not. No. Open my phone, live score, scroll. Oh, snap.
Yeah,
It's Craig Bellamy.
yeah. It's crazy when you actually deep it. How many ballers that we grew up watching that are now
Coaches.
coaches and yeah. I mean, you got Javi Alonso, you got Mikel Arteta.
Mm-hmm.
You
Says
know, you got
Fabregas.
Sass. In the Club World Cup, I think Chelsea's playing against, I say Flamengo.
Mm.
think that's right.
Hmm.
I'll check, but I think it's Flamingo. Felipe Luis is the gaffer there. He's the manager. You remember him?
Felipe Luis, left back.
Yeah. hmm He's the coach.
Chelsea's
Yeah,
left back.
yeah,
Atletico Madrid.
yeah. So we're playing
Wow.
against him, and that was not, but
Stop. I don't want to hear
yeah,
this anymore.
that was like
I
that was
don't,
not too long ago. Not too long ago
I
at
do
all.
not want to hear this anymore.
Yeah,
That's
there you go.
ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Anyway, England won 1-0 against Andorra.
Yeah,
I didn't catch the game, saw the highlights. I didn't see as many chances for England, but I can't really speak too much about the game because I didn't watch the game.
yeah.
It looked, I mean, they looked full strength. I mean,
It's
maybe,
just, I mean, very pragmatic approach from Thomas.
yeah.
That was, yeah. Tuchel is gonna be pragmatic. I think from that game, the criticism that many England fans had was it was reminiscent of the Fabio Capello era,
That's a good
where they're
shout.
just kind of like just not looking to
Lose, not
concede
lose.
exactly, which everyone was like, "Oh, brother, with
Yeah,
all the firepower we have, is this how it's gonna be?"
yeah.
Um, yeah, just to squeak by Andorra is not really the
It's not.
best
It's not a
look.
good look at all. I wanted to touch on this. It's another game I didn't see, but I was looking forward to the result of was Albania versus Serbia with all
I mean,
the
that's a beef. Yeah, there's a lot of
with all the
everybody
tension.
getting off the pitch in one piece
Is
is
the
is
win.
is a win.
Is the
Yeah,
win. Yeah, but it was no. I think there was a penalty miss in the game as well.
well, really.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I did see that because I think Georgi Petrovic, our
Yes,
goalie,
saved
he saved the
the
goal.
penalty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, or
Of
yeah,
course you
saved it.
saw it.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah,
Chelsea guy.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did see that. Which I mean, he's been having a he's in form.
Yeah. We'll see if Chelsea keep him.
I didn't. Excuse me. I didn't. I didn't.
He didn't
I
mean
didn't,
to do
didn't know that was audible.
that.
But yeah.
Norway beat spanked Italy 3-0. Soloth, Haaland, and I forget the youngster's name that's got a nasty goal too. It was a
Mm,
convincing win. I think Niall something, I think his
mm,
name
mm.
is.
It was a comprehensive win.
Yeah, it was.
Italy. I mean, they're again. You think about where they used to be and where they're at
Mm.
right now. They've missed the last two World Cups,
And won the
um,
Euros in between.
which is just bizarre. And you'd think Spalletti, the manager that they have, would be great because of how great Napoli was, but
Hmm.
it kind of highlights the differences between the club game
And the
and the
international game.
international game. It's not just a turnkey type of thing. We're going to see it with Thomas Tuchel, and we're going to see it with Julian Nagelsmann here in the next tournament, I think.
And set me up nicely to the next game I'll talk about. Carlo Ancelotti.
Don Carlo looks natural for the Seleção.
Yep.
He looks comfortable in the colors, like a glove.
Yeah.
It looks like he was born in the favelas.
Yeah. I watched both games actually. They tied to Ecuador 0-0, and then they beat Paraguay 1-0. And one thing I said in the last episode is I'll be interested to see the Vinny that shows up,
Yeah.
and Vinny scored the only goal in the two games, but they didn't concede in any of those games, which
Mm.
was an issue for them before. Um, Watching them, like he brought Casemiro back, Alexandro back,
Mm.
Dan, Danilo back,
Oh wow, old school.
like Carlo doesn't mess around with all these
The young
experimenting.
lions. Yeah.
No. He doesn't have time for that. But I think the attack he's still trying to figure out. I mean, he brought Richarlison back. The second game he didn't start Richarlison. The first game he did.
Mm.
Second game he played Vinny and Cunha up top with Martinelli and Rafinha on the flanks.
Mm.
Then Bruno G and Casemiro sat. So it was like a 4-2-4.
In front of the back line.
Yeah, 4-2-4. So he basically was trying to build a base in the back
Mm.
to let those four express.
Yeah.
Just like what he did last season.
Typical Don Carlo,
Yeah.
where it's just like a little bit of structure and then freedom
Freedom,
to
exactly.
express yourself.
Yeah, again, I think they looked solid, but I think that lack of a proven nine, it will be the issue. So he's trying to figure out what mix would get the job done. We'll see. I'm curious to see. Obviously, I think we all have affinity for Brazil, so we always want to know what's going on on that side. But Argentina played twice as well. They won 1-0 to Chile. Julian Alvarez is having a good year. Last year, he scored the only goal to win it, and then Argentina Colombia was 1-1.
Mm.
Your boy got sent off, Enzo.
He did. He did.
Um,
You know, in a friend getting sent off, I think was it a
was
qualifier?
a
Yeah,
qualifier,
getting sent off from a qualifier isn't the best look in terms of your national team, but as a club fan of Enzo Fernandez's work,
yeah.
that just alleviates some of the squad congestion in September and November. That's the way I have to look at it. I mean, we're looking at congestion of fixtures. We're
Mm-hmm.
looking at mileage on legs, and you
Fair,
know
fair.
that's the only way I can look at it.
I don't
I
blame
think
you.
Argentina will be fine,
They'll be
and
fine.
they're not really gonna.
They'll be fine. It
You
was
know,
it was unfair. I mean, not.
it's a high kick.
Yeah, I don't know if it was.
It's a bit high.
Yeah, it was, but like red.
It looked worse than I think if you're a real baller would know. It's just
Yeah,
I didn't see him, or I had already committed, or I
yeah. I already
overcommitted, or
committed. Yeah.
but when you get a camera and you're super looked in with the folk,
This is how they're looking at it.
real
Oh
close,
yeah, red.
and everyone's like screaming in your ear. Yeah, under pressure. Yeah, for sure. No problem. No, of course, especially Argentina, Colombia, which is a pretty spicy game.
Yeah, it was a spicy game. Messi was barking at the ref after the game. Then he didn't shake. He didn't want to dap James Rodriguez up because of, I guess, comments that James made after they Argentina beat them for the Copa America
Okay.
and stuff like that. South America, man, like South America and African qualifiers, it's the same vibe. There's very few goals most of the time. You see a red card here and there, but
Yeah.
it's just solid. Like I think it has something to do with the weather in those two parts of the
Yeah,
world.
definitely could be
Um,
that. It's just kind of a. I feel like it's just like we were saying earlier. It's like a with how England plays. It's kind of like neither team wants to make the mistake
yeah,
that's going to cost their
that
country.
3 points.
Call it no 3 points or 3 points, but
Yeah,
yes, but qualification. Like I'm
hmm
missing a World Cup because you.
you try to go
Yeah,
forward
you
when
try.
you should have
Yeah,
stayed there.
yeah, you tried to do something. You ODing. You're doing
Yeah.
too much. That's something you kind of have a hard time living down. And the window of opportunities every 4 years. So,
Yes.
you can make it up in euros or something like that. But still,
Yeah.
damage gets done.
You just made me flashback to how Brazil lost to Croatia in the last World Cup. They
Mm.
were leading. Neymar had scored. I can't remember who it was that was trying
Somebody
to.
switched off.
Yeah, it was carrying. No, it was carrying the ball, like just release it, and
Mm-hmm.
he got hit on the transition. So.
Yeah, it's very much tactical, drilled. You have really little room to express
Error.
yourself
Yeah.
or room for error.
Yeah. And lastly, Senegal beating England in England 3-1. Um, El Haj Diouf was like, Jamie Carragher, this is for you. This is for
They
you.
were, I mean, they're our brothers and they were jubilating. That's what we do.
Yeah,
Definitely a big win for
big win.
the continent. And, England will try and sweep it under the rug, but it's, again, off of two unimpressive games.
Outings, yeah.
The British press is.
Oh my
I
god.
mean, I wouldn't. Yeah, like people are like, "Oh, let's get it. Let's bid him right now." Like all that stuff, especially if he's a
Already?
foreign. Yeah, of course they are. People are upset. People are like, "This is." I mean, I personally think that's insane, but people are upset.
Wow.
Similarly, in the states, you've got Pochettino,
Oh
who's
yeah, he's
like,
lost his last three.
yeah, like it's neither. Both those guys are like they're on deals for the World Cup,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of I wouldn't say pressure, but both.
Yes, pressure.
Yeah,
That's the right word.
yeah, pressure is the right word. And they're poised. Both teams are poised to make an impact in this next World Cup. They've trusted these two coaches with experience to kind of clean up the mess in a short window of time. So we'll see how it plays out, but it's not. It's England's always a hot seat, Shaw.
Yeah, it is a hot seat. I mean, and I mean, I think Jude didn't start, but Kane started. Like, it's hard to say. Oh, some certain players didn't start because the people who replaced them are actually top players too. But England was unfortunate because Jude had equalized, but he came off of I think Colville's for he was jumping to win a header,
Mm-hmm.
and he came off his arm, and Jude scored off it, and the rule based on the rules, they canceled that goal. So
Yeah.
it was it was a 2 goal swing.
Yeah, it's
That would have been 2-2.
pivotal moment. I did see that
Yeah,
they're a little bit hurt, or they're kind of upset about that moment. But
yeah,
we're not reading too much into the game, rather, because it could have been different. Just, with that call.
yeah. Well, let's go into transfers.
Let's do it.
Christian Kivu is Inter Milan's new coach.
Wow.
Speaking of
Yeah.
getting getting
I
to the
was like,
stage,
wait a second. That's insane. Yeah, that is insane. We're old
didn't
enough.
he win? Was he in that Mourinho team? I feel like he
I
was.
feel like he was as well.
I'm not sure.
I feel like that was his era.
Correct us if
Yeah.
if we got that wrong. But like Christian Kivu is Inter Milan coach.
I mean,
Where are my grandkids at this point? Because
mm,
I don't understand what is happening. Like all these guys that we grew up watching are coaches.
they're gaffers. They're meisters.
They're misters. But yeah, that's interesting. Obviously, like we reported last week, what's his name? Simon Inzaghi is in Saudi to get some money.
Yeah.
Um, Jokeres, there's talk about him not minding United. I don't like that look for him. Obviously, United is United. That's a big team, but you're not playing Champions League.
Yeah. I'm actually, I mean, really disappointed in the victors in general, both of them. I think
Both
there's a lot.
victors.
Yeah, there's a lack
He
of.
means Osimhen as
Oh,
well.
Victor Osimhen and Victor Gyökeres. I think there's a lack of focus. There's more of a secure the bag focus
Mm,
when I think they're both at the age where they should be in their. Let me reach the top
mm,
level of my game and show the world my like where
mm,
I'm like that I belong at the top level.
mm-hmm.
Um, they're just securing the bag in a major way. I think that's a large motivator for this move to United,
Mm-hmm.
or not large, but it's a motivator. The fact that you know you also have Emery, who used to be there at
Yeah,
Sporting. He's been able to get the best out of him. It's kind
yeah.
of a natural move for them.
Mm.
But it makes you wonder. I mean, with Xerxes and Hoyland both on the wage bill, what I don't understand about all these
Speak about it.
signings,
Just
yeah,
go straight into it.
yeah,
I know
I
you're going.
apologize. Yeah, what I don't understand is just like any club, and in football, you have to, typically, especially when you have that amount of players, it's very public that they have massive wage bills and they don't have Europe. You have to sell in order to buy, and what it seems like they're doing, and I can kind of clock it because my club did it at one point as
Mm-hmm.
well, or we do it quite. Yeah, we used to do it. We still do it, but not as much. Where you load up on talent first, and then you try and sell the second half of the transfer window.
Mm.
The problem with that is everybody knows you have to sell,
Mm.
so you're not going to get your preferred um, number because people know. Look, you've got four wingers. You got three strikers. Rashford's still here. Sancho's still there. Garnacho's still there. All these players who,
Well, Ganacho is almost gone. Yeah,
well, where
yeah, but to be
they're
fair, you're
waiting
right.
for the number, and like I said, everybody. If I'm saying this on this podcast, they
The
know
clubs they know.
they know it at Carrington, they know it at the club,
Yeah.
and they know everywhere. The game is the game, so
Mm.
um, yeah,
Well,
just kind of curious where the money's coming, or not where the money's coming from, but how they plan on
balancing.
balancing the books.
Question: Is will Garnacho be considered pure profit? I think so, right?
Yes, he's an
Okay. Yeah,
academy
it was from because they bought him. I know they bought him from Atletico, but they bought him into the academy.
into the
So okay,
academy. Correct. Yeah,
okay.
it would be pure profit. So you'd think like him, Rashi, and oh, why am I blanking? Menu maybe
Mainu.
would be the targets for sale, but
Yeah,
we'll see.
yeah. We'll see. But speaking of your Jokeres point of like choosing United over maybe somewhere going somebody a club going to the Champions League is Mbuemo going to United. I think we spoke about it a little bit too. So when Newcastle were for him, I thought that Newcastle move would have made sense from a footballing standpoint, but
You rejected Newcastle, correct?
yeah.
That just is very curious. To me, I feel like they don't have would have the perfect move for them.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's a money motivated move in my opinion.
Hmm.
And prestige potentially. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
and,
at this point, that's like I know 2 weeks ago we are saying like we need to redefine what United are right now.
mm,
Prestige is not going to put a trophy on
no, no,
in
no,
your
no.
cabinet.
No, but it gets you players. Trust me,
I
because
know.
when
I mean, I'm a
you're
Real Madrid
yeah,
fan. I
when
know.
you're in your like when your team's not great and you don't really have much to set, like nothing right now. You don't look good right now. All you can do is point to the badge and really what you've done in the past and kind of
Mm.
the impact you've had on young players over the course of their career. So
Hmm.
that when you come knocking, they're like they don't see 15th
They
place
say
or
United, yeah.
14th place. They see Manchester United, like
Mm.
the theater of dreams. They see all of that. So
Mm.
um,
And they see money
they see money, and I think
too.
Brentford. Romo is from Brentford, yeah.
Yeah,
So I think without Thomas Frank leaving, they've always had a hard time holding on to players in general. So I think there's going to be
understandably so.
yeah, there's going to be an exodus of their talent as well.
Yeah.
Fire sale.
Um, yeah, Thomas Frank looks like he's going to Tottenham, and
Mm.
I think he that's why Mbeumo. I don't. I'm not sure if it's confirmed yet, but I think that's why it's still a limbo because he might want to bring him to Tottenham, but we'll see.
Newcastle has no pull. Or no pull. I will say they've taken two of our fullbacks from us, which I didn't
Livramento and
appreciate.
who?
Lewis Hall
Lewis Hall.
didn't really appreciate that because it looks like Lewis Hall is probably going to be the starting left back for England.
Yeah, England
Heir apparent, loaded on the right, left side.
nothing.
Yeah,
I was going to say like nothing.
yeah,
If Luke Shaw comes back fit, he'll start for England.
yeah.
If
Luke Shaw
Chilwell
just
starts off fit,
no Chilwell. Um, Chilwell's career died against Liverpool. I think it was 2 years ago. You
two
remember
years
that
ago.
game? Yeah, where he ran into. Oh, it was bad. It's the worst game, all
Wait, what
time
game?
terrible game.
What
Ben
game is this?
Ben Chilwell versus Liverpool. I think it was 2023. I'm gonna say
Uh huh.
2023. He was at fault for 2 goals. After that, we didn't
Was
see
that
him.
Anfield?
Yes.
Oh, I think I remember that
Yeah.
game then. I think I
I
remember that game.
believe it was. I believe it was. Either way, he there's two major errors, and his career. I mean, he just has never been the same after two serious injuries.
Yeah, the injuries is what I think of.
He was a very dynamic player. But unlike Reese, he isn't as defensively sound. He's
No, not
really about being able to,
bomb forward,
yeah,
yeah,
bomb forward, play a killer cross,
or sneaking
score.
back post and
Yeah.
score. Yeah,
But
yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, Lewis Hall.
Yeah.
Speaking of left backs, I Nuri confirmed to City. Um, so has Shirky, which makes me a little sad that he's going to City. But hopefully, I mean, I'm hopeful that he will be able to like be like free, just be the Shirky that we saw against Spain for France,
Yeah.
and
No, I mean
we know of.
he's a very very entertaining player. I think he's a league on phenom that they come out every now and then.
Mhm.
Yeah, he could be. I mean, the sky's the. I mean, the scale is like you can be a Dimitri Payet type.
Yeah,
You can be Eden Hazard. You could be, you could be one of those.
Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see his career development at City.
Hmm.
Um, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention 115 charges, and they're just swiping the card, swiping the card, and nobody's saying anything.
Ain't no limit on this card. I could swipe 100.
It's just quite curious to me. But the formidable team Pep is building after missing out
Yeah,
um,
on trophies.
in the domestic, and now we got the Club World Cup. So we'll see if they sneak one in the back door. But yeah, they look fierce.
Yeah, they look
They
serious.
woke up. Yeah.
They look very very serious with Tijani coming to.
Mm.
Um, Gasparini is in left Atalanta is the Roma new coach now, which
Mm.
is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Another exodus probably coming there in Atalanta with Lukman and Rutegi and the likes
Yeah, Lookman's needed to leave for a
for a minute.
while.
Ever since he said that nonsense he said about the penalty miss in the
Yeah.
Champions League, I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
bro.
I'm not a fan of Gasparini.
Yeah, let's dip. But to
Uh,
be fair, he did pretty well for Atalanta and
mm,
stabilized them and brought Europe to them and all that stuff. So I'm
mm.
sure I expect him to do well at Roma or similar at Roma. I wrote this one specifically for you.
Mm.
Kepa Balaga is going to
I
Arsenal.
mean, it's a Arsenal's our retirement home for players. No Chelsea player has gone to Arsenal and had a
And banged.
better
Let's
career.
list them. Czech, William, Jorginho,
Jorginho,
Sterling,
um,
David
David
Luiz,
Luiz, Kepa now.
Kepa. Did William Gallas go to Arsenal or go to from
Came,
Arsenal to
I
Chelsea?
think he came to Chelsea.
Okay, yeah. But
Um,
that's six. I just listed. Well, this
mhm.
will be seven.
Yeah,
I
there's
feel like we're
plenty.
missing a couple.
Yeah, we are. We are. There's maybe like one or two that I'm missing that
Yeah.
did not bang. So like, whereas on the other side, Ashley Cole,
Actually, Cole. You can stop there.
Olivier Giroud,
Olivier Giroud too, yeah.
um,
But Ashley Cole alone is
yeah,
enough to just.
yeah, but yeah, we typically unlock the trophy cabinet for for them. Whereas um, going to Arsenal is usually is a. I don't in this situation. I won't say he's getting a bag because we paid him a bag
Mm-hmm.
already. I won't like front on that, but I think it's more so. They're getting a good backup.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good
Shot
penalty. Yeah,
stopper.
he's good in PKs typically.
Mm-hmm.
They got him for a good price. He's Spanish, which fits well with their whole
Contingent.
culture
Mm-hmm.
and their contingent they're building back there. So, you know, um, I never really, I won't say I never really hated Kepa. That's a bold statement. What I will say this, I'm not worried. I'm not like concerned about this move. Not only because he's the backup, but
Yeah.
also because I have seen Kepa and I know you cannot really win anything of consequence with him.
I mean, with him starting, you
Yeah,
mean?
with him
Because
starting,
he was Real Madrid's backup 3 seasons
you
ago
got to
now.
have two goalies because there are just some things they can't do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not really, does he make them better? Yeah, probably.
In training, yeah.
Who was their backup? I'm sorry.
Uh,
They
uh,
just lost him.
I
It was Ramsdale before, but they might have had somebody in between. I can't
I
think.
can't remember.
But either way, yeah, it's a good background for them. Good for
I
good
can't
cause.
remember. I can't remember because Raya plays. If Arsenal were to play
And then,
my team, Raya will start.
yeah, of course.
Like he always like starts
But like
Raya.
in the cup and stuff, I'm not sure who they had for their cups this
Yeah.
year.
No, Raya. That's what I'm saying. Like if Arsenal was to play, when I say my team, I mean like my actual Sunday league team. He will
Oh,
start Raya. Like
yeah,
he
that's
always
what he
starts
does.
Raya.
Okay,
Remember against Newcastle, the League Cup semifinals, it was
start
Raya.
right. Wow,
Like it was always Raya. So
that's strange.
very strange. But all right, let's reach
Mm.
through these. Mastantuno, the exciting River Plate boy, looks like he's coming to Madrid. That name pool because I can't remember who. I think it was PSG that was he was supposed to go to. Then Real Madrid entered the race. Then boom. Job Bellingham is a new Bellingham is in Dortmund
Uh-huh,
confirmed.
uh-huh.
Interesting. That was a great move for him because he'll be able to
Just follow the
cook.
footsteps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he'll be able to cook there. Theo Hernandez, part of the AC Milan
yeah.
Exodus that you were talking about last
It's
week,
over.
looks like he's going to Atleti, which I do not like. So wait, he'll be on the left. That means if Rodrigo stays, it will be him.
Mhm.
Um, and I think w- it, he's good going forward. I think it will fit Atleti if they play three in the back because he can
You
bump
can
forward.
bomb forward. It'll
Yeah,
be a good place to produce
yeah,
some opportunities and some goals.
yep. And this one was surprising, but it looks like it moved very fast, and it may be confirmed. Leroy Sané to Galatasaray.
Hmm. I
Isn't
didn't.
that? Did you see that coming?
No, I did not. I
I
mean,
know.
Gala will do that.
To be fair, before you go, you brought up Eze
Mhm.
and saying like there's a possibility of him going to
Bayern.
Bayern, and we literally brought up Sané's name, and we didn't think of him leaving, and boom.
Yeah, no, I knew Sane was on the out. He was on the outgoing. I mean, Galatasaray will every now and then they'll rock up with their wallet, and they
Hmm.
have they've got they've got some money. So you know, Sane isn't. I think he's still got something in the tank,
Yeah, I
and
think so too.
for sure, and um,
I think so too.
Turkish league is it's just weird like
It's very weird. Um, last thing I wanted to touch. I know there's some things that we need that I want you to talk about,
that.
but did you ever think that Ivan Perisic will be going to Barcelona?
Mm.
That's what word on the street is.
Wow,
Ivan Perisic is like 48 years old.
he's very old. I didn't. I mean,
He
honestly,
scored last week for Croatia. Still,
wow.
him
Mm,
and Modric.
I mean, they're both timeless,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't think that Barcelona would need a player like that. I don't like how their team is so young, in
He's
my
free.
opinion.
He's free.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, they
They
don't have money.
don't. They don't have money.
Yeah.
They don't have money, so it's free. But I thought that was odd. Um, I wanted you to talk about Liverpool's spending.
Oh, I just think it's noteworthy.
Noteworthy.
Because the narrative has been for some time that the oil clubs
All back
just
clubs.
splash money in the league and have ruined football. When you look at it, Liverpool has spent just as much as some of the biggest clubs out there. And when they need a player, that they highlight a position of need, they're very quick to just open their wallet. And that was seen with and
Van
this
Dijk, Alison Becker, and now
yeah.
Verts.
I have a list here. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I think it was those three for sure that they went real crazy on. But yeah, Liverpool spend money too.
Yeah, I remember Klopp being very big about that. But either way, I think Naby Keita is
Naby
another big
Keita, yep,
big
that's a good shout.
purchase.
That's a good shout.
Yeah,
Naby Keita. They didn't spend a lot of money on Mane or Salah or Bobby Nunes. They spent
Darwin was insane.
yeah, Darwin Nunes. Yep.
Um, I wish I could find that tweet.
McAllister was like in the 40s, 50s. Um, who else? Who else? But obviously the big ones were Allison, Van Dijk, and now Verts. Those
Yeah,
are then you can say Nunez is one tier up below because he was not cheap. He was like
yeah.
70,
I
70
think
something.
is Wirtz is the most expensive player in history in Premier League history.
Yep.
The most expensive goalkeeper is Allison,
Allison,
and the
yep.
most expensive center back
Is Van Dijk.
is Van Dyke. So, I mean, I'm not saying that my club doesn't spend. We do, but
Mm-hmm.
we also sell.
Mm-hmm.
So I think to just be completely transparent about it, you know, we our expenditure was 1.79 billion. Okay, that's a lot of money, but um,
These sales.
our sales are 819 million. So that puts us at um,
I think your sale is 90. income is 966, right?
Excuse me. Yeah. So we sold 966
Mm-hmm.
million in talent, and we're running about an 800 million
Deficit.
deficit right now. The next club to us is Manchester United. They're at 1.1 billion.
Insane.
Um, they've sold 322
That's ridiculous.
million. So again, I said we're 966. They're 322. They're operating at a similar deficit. So, and then for comparison, Liverpool has spent a lot less over the course of their period on top. Uh, but when they do, they spend big.
But you have to give them credit though. That it like apart from Darwin, the other one's banned.
Mm-hmm.
Like Allison is Allison, Van Dyke is Van Dyke. I mean, well, I'll say those two bang. We'll see Verts. Verts look like he'll probably do decent, but
Right.
we'll see. I don't. I mean, I let me not say anything negative about him or anything questionable about Verts because that's bold. 115 is bold, but we'll
Yeah.
see. I mean, Liverpool tend to in recent time get it right, so we'll see. We'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. We'll
We'll
see.
see.
Um, lastly, I know you want to talk about the Club World Cup low interest.
Yeah, I mean, in Atlanta right now, the tickets I've had my eye on them, and they keep going more and more down. They just keep going down, just because there's so many available. People don't really care about the Club World Cup here.
Not here.
No, I
Not
don't.
here.
I don't really think they care anywhere. I mean, European fans will care as much as their club makes them care about it, but
Mm-hmm.
and based off of like the intensity of the matches.
Mm-hmm.
But just for perspective, in domestically and in the states, the Chelsea game's Tuesday, or excuse me, it's Monday of next week. It's at 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's going to be in downtown Atlanta at 3 p.m. Nobody is gonna miss work to watch that game, go to that game
On a Monday.
on a Monday, a random impromptu Monday,
Mm-mm.
for a tournament they've never really um, heard of unless they really know ball. So watching the price of those tickets, would love to go to the game. Definitely going to go to the game.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just kind of curious to see how serious, if we see any signs of fatigue in the
Yeah.
players that have been on the pitch the entire season.
365 days.
Yeah,
It feels like, yeah. Yeah, and I've been watching. Obviously, Real Madrid is playing in Charlotte, and I plan on going. So those things are more expensive. I think
mm.
the reports are the interest is low in the Club World Cup, but like the Real Madrids are still like,
How many? Who y'all playing? I think that y'all are playing Al Hilal.
yeah.
That's a pretty
Oh
decent. I
yes,
mean, in
Al
terms of
Hilal is,
yeah,
yeah.
I think
That's a big game,
yeah, it's
and it's on a Wednesday, I think.
at 3.
Yes. So I'm thinking of the one. The one I'm thinking of is the Pachuca
Pachuca
one,
game.
and that's the one in Charlotte, I believe.
Oh, okay, okay.
I
Yeah,
believe. Yeah.
Sunday at 3.
Yeah, that's the one in Charlotte.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm. And it's
um,
still expensive. Dang.
yeah.
I was gonna say because we're playing LA Galaxy. I don't think that even there's just not interest.
No, Drew is in
Druid's there.
LAFC.
No, I think Druid's there. I think. Oh yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
I think he's in LAFC. I think him and Hugo Lloris, if he's still there, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're right. You're right. He's at
LAFC,
LAFC.
yep. Yeah, but well, we'll see the level of um the quality of ball that will be played in Club World Cup. I
For
mean,
sure.
we will be watching. It's just
Hmm.
what we do. I just feel bad for the players. That's all.
Yeah,
But we'll be watching. Um,
we're gonna rotate our squad, so I'm excited to see the likes of Esteval and some of
mhm.
the younger guys.
Brazilian boy.
Yeah, uh, Andre Santos and Esteval.
Hmm.
Planning on seeing both of them. Cole Palmer's wearing the number 10 now.
Will he even play?
Yeah, he should play. He
Mm.
should play. I mean, not maybe not in the group stage. He
Yeah.
can probably ease his way in, but yeah, it's interesting. I think there's a couple of omissions from the squad that's going to the Club World Cup that kind of raised my eyebrow.
Hmm.
Georgi Petrovic is one of them. He's had a great season. at Liga.
There you go.
Won player of the team or player of the team,
There's
player of the season for his team.
Mm-hmm.
Had a better statistical season than Donnarumma by the book in Liga. If you looked at the save percentage and the amount of clean sheets, um, looking like we're gonna sell him. I think, but you would think this would be the perfect tournament
To
to
try him out.
showcase,
Mm-hmm.
see if he's got the minerals to do it after some time away from the side. So that's a big omission. And then Kendry Paez, another youngster of ours. I believe he's Ecuadorian.
Mm.
Yeah, Kendry's Ecuadorian. He's on
Caicedo.
Yeah, he's on Moises' team.
Mm-hmm.
Plan was for him to play in the Club World Cup with Chelsea. Now it's looking like we're going to loan him to Strasbourg, which again, good for his development, but he was expecting to play for the summer. So he's
Bro, you sound like Chelsea's Fabrizio.
I
Like,
mean, it's my club, man. And when it comes to the transfer window and prospects, like there's so many players that we've purchased
yeah,
that you guys in the general public
doesn't.
just sees the tweet and they just scroll past.
Yeah,
But I'm like, okay, now we purchased him. Where are they now?
yeah.
What are they doing? Is he developing?
I don't want to drag this out,
No, please, sorry.
but and I know this guy more because of FIFA back in the day when we used to play like Master League. Now it's Ultimate Team, but Piazon,
Yeah, Lucas Piazon could
Lucas Piazon.
play cam. He could play left wing,
What
right
happened to
wing.
him?
He could play
Really
striker.
quick. What
And
happened to him?
he went to he was one of the lone army veterans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most loanees at that time at Chelsea did maybe 3 or 4 stints, maybe 3 loans
Mm.
before getting a snap at the first
Charlie
team.
Musonda, like
Yeah,
sorry,
well,
go ahead.
Musonda got hurt,
Yeah.
but Piazon servant at the club in the sense that every year, every summer, when they proposed a loan, he never really batted an eye.
Mm.
He wound up with 6 or over 7 loans total. Never really played for Chelsea. Wound up settling in Brazil, I think. But again, was paid handsomely for his time.
Okay.
But yeah, not the best, not the most happy ending. Those old Chelsea academy players that I thought were going to break the
Bang, yeah.
stratosphere. There are all of them. Not all of them did, but quite a few of them did. Very few, if not zero, of them banged at Chelsea.
Mm.
They all secured ball time elsewhere. So, or we secured the bag on them.
Yeah. That's why you should sell Levi Kogel. Anyway, we'll take a break. We'll take
Awful
a break.
take. Awful take.
I'm just playing. We'll take a break. Yeah, we'll dive into Portugal, Spain, the Nations League final, and see what happens. So,
Let's do it.
in a bit. We're back to talk about the Nations League final. Personally, as a Real Madrid fan and as a Ronaldo guy, I was happy that he scored and Portugal won. And I mean, before Ronaldo, Portugal had barely made Euros or World Cups, and after him, they have 3 international trophies. One major one, I'd say, but the Nations League is pretty major these days. Like, he played Spain, Germany, Netherlands. I think I can't remember who their run up to the final was, but they're like big European teams, and he scored against all of them. So I was particularly happy for him. Obviously, his age is showing, but his IQ, his ball IQ, is still
It's funny.
very
You
much intact.
give me a bunch of guff for like hate watching that. You just were like, oh, I was happy for Ronaldo. That was a hate watch.
That was not a hate watch. I don't hate Spain.
Okay. Do you like the Barcelona phenom that is featuring for Spain?
I do.
Now? You like him?
Yes.
You wanted to see him win over Ronaldo?
Not over Ronaldo, okay. But like I said it last week or 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I do. I like him. Like players like Yamal, even though he plays for Barcelona, and obviously I don't want him to do better than my team.
There were quite a few Barcelona players on the Spanish team, so I'm just saying.
I mean, Pedri and Yamal.
What about the is Kubarsi?
He didn't play.
He didn't play.
I think he got hurt towards the end of the season. He didn't
Okay.
play.
Okay.
Um,
Fine.
it's Gavi I don't like.
Okay.
That's who I don't like. I can't
That's the only
stand
one.
Gavi.
Fair.
I respect him, but I can't stand him. But like I
Fair.
said,
Fair.
yeah,
All
it
right.
wasn't a hate watch. I'll tell you if it was a hate watch. I'll tell you. I hate watch every year, every season, every
Yes.
Barca game, every Atleti game is a hate watch.
Okay.
But it was a support watch for Ronaldo.
Yes. Okay.
Put it that way.
Fair. Valid.
But you know, the game was like in the beginning. I think that um, what's his name, Roberto Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of overdid it in the beginning. Then he corrected it, and Portugal was fine then. But then first getting into the setup, they were both playing for 3-3. Let me make sure I'm recording this. Yeah, they're both playing 4-3-3. Spain playing. Dino was very good in the back, playing with Lamar, Leonard. I forget how to say his name. Um, what's his name? Mingueza, playing the right back. He used to play for Barcelona. Now he's in South, I believe. And Cucurella was the left back. Then in the midfield, they started. Who they start? Zubimendi, Pedri, and why am I spacing out? I'm spacing out. But three in the midfield. Then Oyarzabal was playing false nine. Yamal on the right, Nico on the left, and for Portugal they're playing same similar system with Ronaldo, Neto, and uh, Conceição
Mm-hmm.
up top, and Bruno and Bernardo were playing in the middle with Vitinha holding. But the curveball that Roberto Martinez pulled was playing João Neves on the right. Did you pull who's the third midfield? I'm missing somebody. Fabian Ruiz. How did
Yeah.
I forget Fabian Ruiz?
Paris, right?
Yeah, I'm like anyway. Um, the curveball that Roberto Martinez pulled was playing João Neves on the in the right back, and what uh, the plan was in possession for Portugal was to invert João Neves for him and Vitinha to build from deep and defend in the back three. The problem is when they in transition, it left Ruben Diaz
Mm-hmm.
1-on-one with Nico Williams. So when um, Spain are breaking, or when they're building up, or when they just get the ball back, they are the ball playing center back for them is more Dean Huyson, and I was very happy seeing like what he was offering because he was very good on the ball. He could play the short pass, but his long passing um, to Nico was very effective, and he had some penetrative passes because Portugal was pressing every time like they were building from the back, but because of him, he would just like find like a pocket of pass and it just breaks the whole press.
Mm.
Towards the end, Portugal stopped pressing because either he did that short pass through or the long pass over the top for Nico to face 1v1. And again, the first the first Spanish goal was as a result of like them pressing, um, and Dino started the move, I believe, and he gave it to I think Zubimendi
Yep.
or one of the midfielders, and what's his name? Ayatollah comes, does a flick. That flick he does just breaks the whole press,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously they're bombing forward, and ball goes out to the left to Yamal, cross the ball commotion, and Zubimendi scores. So um, Spain are very, 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 very comfortable beating the press.
Yeah.
Very
They
comfortable.
almost invite. Yeah.
They almost invited,
Mm-hmm.
like, because come on, I dare you. With the midfielders they have with Zubimendi, Pedri, and Fabian
Yeah.
Ruiz, intricate passing,
understanding of each other and space.
and space and time and stuff. And shout out to Oyezabal because he has scored in all four finals he has played in. Three of them for Spain. Two Nations League finals he scored and scored in the Euro finals as well.
Yeah,
So
it's been a while since Spain's had like a track like a big name number 9. You know what I mean?
he's not even a number 9.
Yeah,
He
it's
just
kind of just somebody who
yeah
does the job,
yeah
if it's the system what they need.
yeah
Um,
yeah. So shout out to him. But the game changed when um, Roberto Martinez did something at halftime. He removed João Neves, brought in Semedos,
mhm.
a fullback, and he removed Consensao and brought in this guy in Saudi, Ruben Neves. Remember him? They used to play for Wolves.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Was he Wolves? It was Wolves, right? I think it was Wolves.
Yes, it was.
And then pushed Bernardo Silva to the right,
Mhm.
and then so it was Vitinha and Ruben Neves that were building from the base now, and Bruno was just roaming around, finding pockets of space he's trying to create. And when they did that, that Nico threat was dead. Like that threat was dead because they
Mhm.
played a proper right back. None of that inverting nonsense because Spain was obviously dominating that, and then went straight 4-3-3, simple, and it was effective. One thing I wanted to mention was one of the I mean, shout out to obviously Nuno Mendes. I always get all of them confused, but Nuno, the PSG boy.
João Neves.
No, Nuno Mendes, the
Oh
left
yes,
back.
excuse me.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah. He like even in the first half when Jao Neves
Mhm.
inverted, he was staying back for the most part because of Yamal,
Mm.
who he did a great job on, but he was still finding times to go forward and support Neto or when Leao came in or whoever was on that left, he was still finding time to go forward. It wasn't just
Static.
static. And obviously, he scored the goal and he had the assist for the goal as well. So, despite having to deal with Yamal, so very, very, very impressive performance from him as well. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing I wanted to touch on is Spain's lack of depth.
Mm.
These pull up the substitutions that they made. They brought in Isco quality, but he hasn't played in the national team in 6 years.
Mm.
Jeremy Pino, Mikel Moreno, Alvaro Morata.
Right.
Who else? There was one more person that they brought on, but like the
They brought on Poro, but I think
Poro, yeah,
Poro's
Poro
pretty
is
good.
really Poro is
I
good.
rate him.
Yeah, he's decent, but Poro. But look at the names that I just mentioned that Portugal brought on. They brought on Leal. They brought on Ruben Neves. They brought on Gonzalo Ramos.
Yeah.
They brought on like
Well,
pretty stronger players, so they have a better bench.
where was Danny Olmo? Where was Gavi? Where was Kubarsi? Where was Fermin?
Lopez,
Yeah,
oh,
Fermin.
none of them played.
Grimaldo.
None of them
So they
played.
have. Just kind of curious if it was because of
Fatigue,
fatigue.
injury, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I was surprised not to see Olmo at all because he usually brings in Olmo, but
Mm,
I was surprised not to see Olmo at all.
yeah.
I'm not sure why that like I'm not sure why he didn't bring him in at all.
Yeah. It must have been just. I mean, like I said, like we discussed it. This tournament for it to be a final,
Yeah.
like literally right after everything has kind of chilled out in Europe in terms of competitions,
Hmm.
is kind of is mad. So
It's
I'm
mad.
sure there's some legs that are tired, but
Very, very tired.
it was a great. I mean, this is the Iberian Peninsula rivalry
Rivalry,
match.
yeah.
There's a lot on it. It means this shit means something to me.
Yeah.
You could definitely tell. Just seeing Ronaldo at the age that he's at, still very much and involved in the outcome of this game and the tournament.
Hmm.
And then watching the youth on the other side
Yeah.
just sort of learn, Maul just sort of start a little bit cocky, a little bit too much dip on his chip, and kind of settle in. He was hooked at half. Was he not?
No, no, he wasn't.
No.
Yamal.
Yamal.
Yamal was hooked in first half of extra time.
Okay,
Yeah,
excuse me.
he
That's
was
what I
hooked.
saw. That's what I
Yeah,
saw.
first half of extra time. But honestly, I thought they brought off Nico a little earlier because Nico is the one. I mean, Yamal has um he has games where he may not have a goal or an assist, but he influences the game. Like for example, the first goal was off of his cross and
Yeah.
close goal motion. But I thought Nico was dangerous for longer, and I was surprised that he got hooked up. I don't know
Yeah,
whether there's
they didn't
anything.
make any. I mean, it looks like Spain didn't make any substitutions until pretty later on,
Yeah,
until the 75th minute.
because they don't have the
Yeah,
bench.
like they really were trying to just get to the finish line there.
Yeah, they don't have the bench. And look, like I want to give a shout out to Leao because Leao came on and Poro. Oh my god.
That's what you ball like that when you're auditioning for other clubs. That's just
That's
how
fair.
that's how you play.
That's fair. That's fair.
Especially in a dire situation, you're
Yeah.
just like, I'm still a baller.
Yeah, I'm still him.
So
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. And Ronaldo, you mentioned Ronaldo. I saw a stat: 25 finals played, 14 goals.
mm.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I mean I wouldn't even say. I mean, Cucurella has had a great season.
Hmm.
I still take him. I think he's one of the best in the position right now. I'm not
Hmm.
gonna say he's the best, but he's one of the
I mean,
premier.
he played against the best in
Yeah,
men's right now.
he's come against several of the biggest and baddest wingers, and he's put them in his pocket, or at
Hmm.
least nullified the threat.
Yeah,
I think Ronaldo just showed how wise he is, and I think it's just something to watch on tape
yeah,
for Cuckoo, and nothing really on his. He's at fault for the goal because that's his man
but
and in his area, but
you can't be ashamed. It's
how
Ronaldo.
fast? Yeah, it's Ronaldo. How fast that ball came in.
The deflection.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
So yeah, but good, entertaining Sunday afternoon game here.
Was it Sunday or Saturday? Yeah, I know. The dates are all messed up. I think it was
Okay,
Saturday.
okay.
I think it was Saturday.
The 8th
Whatever that
was
day was.
whatever that day. I feel
Yeah.
like it was Sunday.
It was Sunday.
It was
Oh, my
Sunday.
bad, my bad, my bad.
It's okay.
It's my bad. It's my
It's
bad.
okay.
My bad. Yeah, but a good game to watch. And obviously, like I said, I was happy for Ronaldo because that's my guy. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, IQ Player of the Week. We've mentioned him a couple times. I mean, first of all, João Neves, Vitinha, possibly Fabian Ruiz as well. They had a great week, but none of them had a better week than the player of that final, the man of the match of that final,
Yeah.
Nuno Man. That's the IQ player. He has to be.
Yeah, he did. He handled his man. He impacted the game offensively. He played both sides of the
And
pitch.
scored a banger of a penalty too.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man,
Tip
Real
your hat.
Madrid. I don't know. I mean,
Jeez, no.
go ahead and you know what to do. Come on, I don't need to be
Mm-hmm.
revealing our club secrets here. You just go ahead and just put a bid in real quick. Thanks. But yeah,
Yeah,
he had a serious week. I mean,
top player.
dealing with the best right wing in the world right now. I mean, him and Salah, you say, but dealing with a phenom like that, one of the best players in the world,
Mm-hmm.
defensively, and then scoring and assisting in the same game a week after you just won your Champions League, and then score a banger of a penalty.
Yeah,
Yeah, come on. It doesn't get more complete
it's
than
peak.
that.
It's
Yeah,
peak.
it doesn't get more complete than that. So congrats to Mensch. Um, yes, I like to pronounce their name properly. Nuno Mensch.
Portuguese.
Congrats to him. IQ Player of the Week. IQ Goal of the Week. Did you see Luis Diaz's goal against Argentina?
He always scores bangers.
He got the ball for those who you have to go see this goal. He got the ball on the left off like a transition counter attack. Three defenders, right, from he got the ball just right after the halfway line. After like I think it was a corner that they defended halfway line. He was facing two initially, and one more defender came, and from the left, just shimmy, fake shot, shimmy, shimmy, finish. Like it was beautiful goal. It almost got my vote, but Shirky's goal against Spain.
Mm.
That has to
Yeah, he hit that so sweet.
with a left foot.
Kind of announcing himself to. I mean, everybody knows who he is, but kind of like,
If you didn't know,
yeah, it's kind of just like, how do you? Everybody, he was on everybody's radar, but that
yeah.
put him presently in everybody's crosshairs. It like expedited the here we go. We knew that he was going there anyway, but I don't think nothing's done until it's done.
Mm-hmm.
After that goal hit that net, I think paperwork was
It was like,
was promptly processed.
yeah. They probably met him in the dressing room after that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
please,
oh yeah,
just go ahead.
yeah, because
Because
that type of player runs off of confidence, and I'm sure he was feeling himself after that, as he should.
do you know how difficult it is to walk in 5-1 down? Walk
Mm.
in a game 5-1 down. And like before he scored because he scored assisted, then he was involved in the own goal. He gave Malagusto the through ball and when he crossed it, it caused the own goal. So it was 5-1 and he had a hand in the three goals that happened while he was on the pitch. Like and before those three goals happened, like touch on the left, switch play on the right. Like you could see, I'm like, this guy feels at home. Like, why didn't I understand why? Like, um, Deschamps felt the need to start Due, Dembele, and
Mm.
Olise behind Mbappe.
Mm.
I mean, you can't really go wrong with that. But I would argue that you had a more natural 10. I think he was trying to force all those guys in. Like, Cherky, when he came in, it looked like the team was more balanced when he came
Yeah.
in. But like even before the goal and the assist and the own goal that he was involved in, he just looked at home. He just looked at home.
He settled into the team. I mean, and it's not like he doesn't play. Before this year or this Shirky's not really been integrated into the team.
Yeah,
Correct? Like this was kind of his first.
that was his first game.
Yeah. So exactly. So
That was his first game.
hell of a way to announce yourself.
Yeah, that was his first game. So um, again, Pep, please just don't just let him cook, please. Let Shirky cook, please. Just don't institutionalize this boy, please. I know you're a great manager and you know all that stuff, but just for us, just just let him.
I think he will, just because they're missing a player like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're still going to be. I think right now they're in a transition.
Yeah.
Where their style may probably adjust as a result of losing Kevin.
Yeah.
But I mean, with Holland, it's still going to be a very direct into the big man type of play. I think, but just having another outlet for goals and creativity is going to be big for them.
Yeah, I'll call it right now. With Kevin gone, right? If Shirky is let to cook, he has double-digit assists next season. Book it.
Fair.
Book it. I know it may sound bold, but book it.
I just don't know how they. I mean, they've got quite a few.
If he's
they
let
still
to cook.
have. I mean, yeah, they've still got some. I mean, Grealish is going to leave.
Yeah.
But they still have Savinho. They still have Doku. They've still that are gonna want minutes.
Yeah, but I mean, he can play in the middle.
Yeah, he can play in the middle as well. I'm curious to see where he's gonna play.
Yeah.
Either he'll play out wide or he'll play
as a cam
in
the pocket.
I feel like it might take some time to give him the full keys, and we'll see how Pep sort of bloods him into the team.
Yeah, we'll see. And upcoming fixtures, we talked about it a little bit. Club World Cup coming. You know, Chelsea's playing soon. The Club World Cup starts this Saturday with I think Inter Miami playing on the 14th. Then Chelsea's playing the week after. Then we're playing Al Hilal. that you by the time we speak. Oh, next week you're not here, so
Mm-hmm.
next time we speak, lot of games will have happened. But at least we look for. I mean, I think the first game for each of like the big boys will kind of determine okay what kind of tournament this is. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah,
the personnel and the quality and the tempo of the game.
I'm gonna like. It's hard because I'm not gonna hold too much stock in the group stage, just
Yeah,
because our group is. We're I'm sure you're the same. We're kind of favored to win. I
yeah,
mean, I think it's Galaxy. It's what did I say? Did I say Flamengo,
yeah,
and maybe two other teams that
yeah.
we don't really. Maybe one other team that we don't really know. Often, like I couldn't point on a map where it is at. So, um, yeah, I think the first couple of games might be a snooze fest, which
Yeah,
isn't going to help ratings. But as the cup competition progresses, see the clubs will start taking it more serious. We'll
yeah,
start to see a more refined 11. I think I'm like I said, it's just like smack dab in the summer where the
yeah,
money is serious.
yeah,
So summer club football to me is the young, the academy kids. It's like 8 subs on the bench. I know it's not going to be that,
yeah,
but I just want to see where it's going to land
yeah.
in terms of the starting 11s they're going to field.
Well, we'll see.
We shall see.
Well, that's it. Any last words?
Um, just yeah, Chelsea better come back from Mike Magnon. Once this Club World Cup is over. In the last episode, we discussed how extracting a player from Syria is a hostage situation.
Yeah.
That's what we have right now. My worry is that somebody else is going to get him.
Hmm.
Um, Milan wants 20 excess of 20 million.
Mm.
And that was kind of what they came. I will, yeah. Anyway,
20 million though, like
it's not that bad, and I think I'm really upset with my club right now because or the club sporting directors because I think
mm.
we started out too low. I think 8 mil,
That's
8 million, eight
that's
and a
a
half million,
that's a slap.
a little bit
Yeah,
disrespectful. I
that's a
mean,
slap.
it's a bit rash
Yeah.
from them, like to just start there, because it's like a fourth. They wanted 30. They wanted 25 to 30. That was what they said, what they expected, and we started there, which it's hard to find a middle ground when you start so low.
Low. I mean, imagine you going into somewhere and like, I want 30 million, and like we got eight. You just be like, that meme of LeBron leaving the
I mean, that's
the
what
press
I
conference.
mean, we're both Nigerians. You're a proud Lagosian.
Yep.
That's how people shop.
Yeah, that's how people
You
shop.
see a tag that says $30, and you
Coke,
start at
Coke back $2
you say 30 for
for this.
and you start
Oh yeah, take five.
and that's what we've been doing because when you really look at he's in his last year. He'll
Hmm.
be free next year.
Hmm.
He's just off as his last year was not fantastic, to be
It
honest.
wasn't.
He's
No.
kind of been shaky. You can blame the defense, you can blame
Yeah.
the instability of the club,
Yeah.
and he's about to be 30, which is nothing for a
A
goalie in my
goalkeeper. Yeah.
opinion, but those are all things that we're really pushing Milan on, and they're like, you're not gonna hustle a hustler. So it's a sticky situation. I want that for us after the World Cup, the Club World Cup. So
Well,
um yeah.
I got Thibaut, so and I'm about to extend Thibaut Courtois. So
Yeah, there you
anyway,
go. There you go.
uh,
Enjoy. I don't like snakes in my grass.
thank you. I catch you guys next week. You always end with insulting somebody every
I
single
mean,
time.
I just had to. TiVo is.